Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Find out about Severe Weather Safety Week and what you need to know about preparedness. We also have some insight about early mosquito season prevention. And you can find out about the Daytona Beach Half Marathon with Here and Now reporter Joanne Magley. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. The recent rainy winter brought a welcome respite from Florida's long-term drought, but it also stirred up the mosquitoes. Standing water in salt marshes, puddles, and ditches are providing lively breeding grounds for the pesky insects. May typically marks the beginning of mosquito season in Florida, but this year mosquitoes could start appearing as early as March, according to Jim McNelly, director of Volusia County Mosquito Control.
Well, what we're seeing is an early spring. So even though we still have cold temperatures, we are seeing mosquito activity. And though the public might not see that, though they might not be bitten the way they might be bitten later on in the summer, our salt marshes, our containers, our wetlands are all starting to produce mosquitoes. So what we're seeing is an escalation of mosquito production.
Volusia County Mosquito Control is gearing up for a busy season. Employees already are larviciding in salt marshes, rainwater, catch basins, and abandoned tire piles throughout the district. They haven't received any complaints about bites yet, but they expect to start hearing them in March when it's consistently warm and people start wearing short sleeves and shorts.
We are expecting that this spring is going to be extremely active. So if folks could take inventory of their yards, take a look around their yards, look for those containers that may have built up over the winter time, those are the mosquitoes that are going to more than likely impact folks, those mosquitoes that are being grown in their backyards.
Stagnant water collecting in backyard container adds to the mosquito population. Mosquitoes lay their eggs in or near water that can collect in bird baths, toys, clogged gutters, even this pet bowl. Even plants attract mosquitoes, and bromeliads are at the top of the list because their center cups hold water. To prevent mosquitoes from intruding inside, property owners should ensure windows and doors are tight-fitting and screens are not damaged. Mosquitoes can transmit viruses that can cause serious illnesses in people and in animals. Horses should be vaccinated against Eastern equine encephalitis and West Nile virus, and dogs should be given heartworm medication regularly. For more information, you can go to the county's website at volusia.org and then click in Mosquito Control under Services. One of the perks of living in Florida is beautiful weather much of the year, but severe weather does happen. That's why state and county emergency managers are promoting preparedness for all types of weather hazards during this year's Severe Weather Awareness Week, and it begins February 24th. Volusia County Emergency Management staff will be working with Volusia County School System to conduct the annual statewide tornado drill. Volusia County Emergency Management Director Jim Judge said the purpose of the drill is to validate the readiness of students, staff, and faculty of selected schools to respond to a tornado watch and warning.
So tornadoes are always a potential threat here in Volusia County, and if you go back a few years when we had the Groundhog Day tornado, it caused substantial damage. And just looking back at Moore, Oklahoma, they had quite a few fatalities, and even a school with 10 children and were killed and over 70 injured. And so we always need to be mindful of that severe weather and being prepared to take action should severe weather threaten our area.
And it's not just about tornadoes. Other weather hazards include lightning, flooding, and wildfires. For information on weather hazards and more, you can go to volusia.org/emergency, or you can follow us on Facebook through the week as we share preparedness information for different hazards each day. This week's activities also include a public service announcement contest for students. You can vote for your favorite public service announcement video through the end of this week by visiting floridadisaster.org, then click on the Severe Weather Awareness Week icon. Passenger traffic at Daytona Beach International Airport increased 1% in January compared with January of 2013. During January, 44,605 passengers flew in and out of the county-operated airport. This compares with 44,170 travelers recorded in January of 2013. For the 12 months ending in January, traffic increased 4% to 608,412. Steve Cook, the airport's business development director, said the passenger traffic increase in January would have been higher had it not been for the fact that several flights were canceled due to severe weather in Atlanta, which affected flights from Daytona Beach.
We did have those cancellations in January, and we've had more in February, so that was on the downside, but on the upside we had a small gain. We did have more seats offered by U.S. Airways, of course fewer seats offered by Delta, but on balance we had a 1% increase, so we were very pleased about that.
Flight cancellations were somewhat offset by a well-attended Rolex 24-hour race at Daytona International Speedway.
I think the Rolex 24, which ran on the 25th and the 26th, did positively affect our numbers. That was one of the better Rolexes that have been run here, or if not the best. And so there were more people here for that particular event.
For more information, you can visit flydaytonafirst.com.
Hi, I'm Joyce Cusack, Volusia County Council Member at Large. As tough economic times continue, Volusia County residents and visitors are seeing the value of public transportation. During the last fiscal year, VoTran had more than 3.5 million boardings. VoTran offers a variety of services, including fixed route buses, a beachside trolley, van pooling, and a gold service for people who can't ride fixed route buses due to disability or age. For more information about VoTran, visit votran.org.
Thousands of runners converged in Daytona Beach recently for the annual Daytona Beach Half Marathon. Here at Now reporter Joanne Magley has more on the foot race that's gaining a lot of attention around the country.
More than 1,700 runners and 2,200 spectators had perfect weather conditions for the Daytona Beach Half Marathon, held Sunday, February 16th. Hosted by Volusia County Government and the Daytona International Speedway, the Daytona Beach Half Marathon is an official event of Budweiser Speed Week's lineup, taking place just 1 week before the Daytona 500. Six-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion Jimmy Johnson ran the half marathon for the second year in a row. The half marathon took runners on the famous Daytona 500 track, down International Speedway to the world's most famous beach and back, finishing at the Gatorade Victory Lane.
Starting here in the infield, racing around the track, I got to the bridge as the sun was coming up, ran the beach as the sun was really just up, and all the way home and all the fans cheering us on. Really, really awesome event.
The racing theme was carried throughout the course with classic race cars along the route and checkered flags on the beach portion of the course. Participants received a track-themed finisher medal and shirt, a post-race party in the sprint fan zone, and 2 tickets to the Daytona 500 qualifying race, which took place just 3 hours after the last runner crossed the finish line.
A new element this year is the kids race, where kids 5 and under can see just how far they can go.
More than 30 kids took part in the races, with distances ranging 400 yards for kids 6 to 11 and 100 yards for youngsters 5 and under. Also new this year was Lap the Track, which gave runners the opportunity to experience all the sights and sounds of Speed Weeks with one lap, about 2.2 miles, around the Daytona International Speedway. County Manager Jim Deneen, who ran the half marathon, said this race has something other events don't.
I think for one thing, I think it's one of the few things that has an opportunity to connect the track, which people know of all over the world, to actually to the community. So, because in this case, like I said, you're running from the track, but you're running to the water, you're running to the ocean. So you're crossing the Halifax, you're getting to see what the community's like, the sun coming up over the ocean. So it's really a connection to the track, to the locality it's in. And it gets back to the roots of why the track's here. It's because of racing on the beach, and the beach because of the nature of the hard, flat sand that we have to race cars on.
The overall winner was Jose Diaz from Orlando with a time of 1 hour and 14 minutes and 55 seconds. And NASCAR driver Michael Waltrip finished with a time of just over 2 hours and 16 minutes.
Time was almost 2 minutes better, so I'm happy about that. Very happy about that.
Jimmy Johnson finished third in the men's 35 to 39 age division with a time of 1 hour and 28 minutes and 16 seconds, better than what he ran in 2013. And by the way, when Johnson ran in the Daytona Beach Half Marathon last year, a week later he won the Daytona 500. For Volusia Here and Now, I'm Joanne Magley.
I'm Volusia County Chair Jason Davis, asking for you to help us make our roads safer for motorcyclists. You can save a life by looking twice and following these safety tips. Double check traffic at intersections before you pull out. Check your blind spots before changing lanes. Stay focused on your driving. Leave at least a 4-second distance between your vehicle and the motorcycle in front of you. Remember that failing to yield right of way can result in the death of a motorcyclist.
Promoting literacy and health to the children of Volusia County is a priority for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County. Stephanie Strong has more information about Celebrate Literacy Week Florida in this episode of Community Health Matters.
It's time for us to do the same to
These superheroes are taking a break from fighting crime. The Westside Elementary School students are participating in Celebrate Literacy Week Florida, where readers visit classrooms around the state to read a motivating story to the students.
We talked about that. The kids, I asked them how do they think the habit heroes got their energy? And they're vegetables, nuts, and fruits. And then I said, okay, who loves vegetables? And then you saw just maybe a couple of hands go up. And so they knew why they needed to eat it, but they still weren't 100% sold that they have to, but they knew, they got the message that, to power up your body, you need to eat healthy.
Now, why doesn't someone read me The Blonde Boys?
This is the second year that employees with the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County stopped by Westside Elementary School in Daytona Beach to read, and the children just love it.
Oh, the kids were great. They were really enthusiastic. They wanted to read along with me. They really enjoyed the fact that it was in comic book format, and everybody loves Iron Man.
Florida Blue and Marvel Comics worked together to create a comic book that features Habit Heroes characters uniting with the world-famous armored Avenger, Iron Man. The comic book conveys a positive message about healthy lifestyles in a fun and empowering way.
Well, the kids here at Westside Elementary School love to read, and I was so surprised. They all wanted to read about the Habit Heroes, and I think they really enjoyed learning, what makes healthy habits.
The Florida Department of Health in Volusia County is pleased to partner for this important volunteer reading project.
It was wonderful. They seemed really enthusiastic about the story. They were eager to participate. They seemed to really like the comic book, and of course it was about Iron Man, so they loved that even more.
Back in this classroom, the bright-eyed students eagerly listened to the story as they learned lessons about how to stay healthy. Teaching the children about leading a healthy life at a young age will be beneficial in the future.
Yes.
For Volusia Magazine, I'm Stephanie Strong, Public Information Officer for the Florida Department of Health in Volusia County.
As always, if you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com. Time now to head into the studio to join our very own Community Information Director, Dave Byron, with his guest, the Director of Volusia County's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue, Mark Swanson.
Well, thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. You know, one of the best summer jobs around for physically fit, responsible high school and college students is being a Volusia County lifeguard. The county is now recruiting for summer tower guard positions, and we want to talk about the qualifications and what you need to do to apply. So we have with us in the studio Mark Swanson. He's the Director of the county's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Dave. How are you?
Good. Seems hard to believe, you know, here it is in February, but you're already thinking about the summer season.
Yes, so we're ramping up, getting ready for it.
I was going to say, you know, before you know it, it'll be 88 degrees and the beaches will be packed. Hey, before we talk about the lifeguard recruiting, let's talk about your area in particular, the force that you have on the beaches. I understand that you have a nucleus of full-time people, and you augment that during the busy summer season with part-timers. Is that
Yes, we have some full-time employees that work year-round. They're triple certified law enforcement officers, EMTs, and lifeguards. And then during the summer months, the busy months, we employ some seasonal lifeguards that staff our towers during the summer.
When you say triple certified, what are they triple certified in, Mark?
They are lifeguards, ocean rescue lifeguards, and they are emergency medical technicians that take care of people with medical problems.
Right.
And they're law enforcement officers because we have some law enforcement responsibilities on the beach as well.
Right. So Florida certified law enforcement
officers.
Correct,
yes.
How unique is that?
Very unique.
Yeah.
There's very few agencies in the state that actually do it, and no lifeguard corporations that I know that have all triple certified law enforcement, EMT, and lifeguards.
Of course, I have the history on this, being with the county for a while, and I remember when we put the triple certified program in place, and one of the big benefits, as I recall, was the fact that, you know, you have the utilitarian aspect of the full-time people. If you need, I guess, to put them more toward aquatic rescue or more toward public safety in terms of law enforcement, you can use those people kind of interchangeably.
It does, and you know, it gives the county taxpayers the best value for their dollar. And you know, when you have somebody down there that can perform all three functions, then it saves the county money in the long run, and ultimately the taxpayer.
And I would also think, Mark, whereas you require the full-time people to be triple certified, you're going to have to get a pretty capable person to be able to meet all three of those disciplines, I would
Absolutely, Dave. Not everybody can do it. It's a job that requires you to have great critical thinking skills. You've got to be able to change your hats in a moment notice, being a lifeguard at one point, being an EMT at one point, and then maybe having to turn and be a law enforcement officer. So it takes that special person to do it.
Turning toward the recruitment process, every year right at about this time, you start to look toward filling the part-time summer lifeguard positions. The ideal situation for you is you can get a young person, maybe a junior in high school. They stay for a couple years in high school and then all 4 years at college, so you get that person for 6 years. That's the ideal candidate.
That is the ideal candidate.
So how many positions are you looking for this year?
We're looking to fill a minimum of 100 positions right now, Dave.
Okay. And let's talk about what they do. What does a summer lifeguard do?
A summer lifeguard, they come into the morning and they do a drill. We have a drill designated before the towers open in the morning. So they come in, they either swim or they run. They do some form of physical exercise activity before they go on the tower. And then once the tower is open during the day, we strategically locate those towers based on the amount of lifeguards that we have that day.
And this is not a position for the faint of heart. I mean, this is serious business. Not only do you have to be physically fit and, you know, that side of it, but you also, I would think, Mark, have to have a certain, I guess, seriousness or good judgment, maybe, if you will.
And like I said before, Dave, it takes that critical thinking skills, because sitting on that lifeguard tower for 8 hours a day is a difficult job. But the primary part of our job is to be proactive.
Right.
Looking at the water and watching your current and watching where the people in front of your tower, what they're doing at all times, so that when they get into those positions, into those situations with rip currents, that you get them out of those before it becomes an issue.
And I'm glad you pointed that out, because you know, in talking with you in the past and others, you know, I guess the advice always is, if there's any doubt, get off that tower and get in the water. It's better than to have a person saying, hey, I was okay, rather than to have someone flounder in the ocean.
Exactly. We would rather have the lifeguard come down off his tower, go into the water, and rescue and go in there and not be needed than to have not gone in and had been needed.
And you have a pretty unique system on the beach where if a tower guard goes off that tower, there's backup that comes almost at the same time.
Correct. They have signals between towers, and the signals are they lay their flag down to a certain direction, and the tower guards on both sides of those towers, on the left and the right of that tower, knows that that person's in the water, and then they cover their water while they're out. Or if they had to, they can come and assist.
And you know, I've talked to people from your division in the past, and I know that on some really, really busy days, you can make several hundred rescues.
Yes,
if the current is going in the wrong direction, you guys can be really busy over there.
Correct. And you know, if they know there's a rip current going on, then you know, we change the color of our flag, and to let the beachgoers know that it is a cautionary time, and we make sure that we let them know before they go in the water that is, you know, a potential rip currents out there.
And your guys and ladies are able to eyeball the ocean and actually see those rip currents. I don't know how they do it because I can't spot them, but they can actually spot them.
They do. As part of their training when they come in, you know, there's seasoned lifeguards that come in there, then they show them how to watch the water, and they show them things that they need to look for to be proactive.
So you're now, as you say, in the process of recruiting for, I guess you said 100 summer lifeguards. Let's talk about the qualifications. First of all, what do you have to do to qualify?
To qualify, they have to be able to swim 500 meters in less than 10 minutes.
No easy.
Not an easy thing.
Right.
They have to be able to swim 50 yards in less than 30 seconds.
Right.
And then they have to be able to run a half a mile in less than 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
So if there's any young person out there that's thinking about trying out, they better start swimming now then.
They need to start swimming now. You know, go out to the YMCA and start swimming in the pool, come out to the ocean, start doing some swimming, but you know, do some practice before you come in and try out.
And so obviously people work for money, and what are we talking about in terms of pay scale here?
If the applicant starts out and they have their emergency medical technician certification, they'll start off at $977. If they don't have their emergency medical technician certification, they'll start off at $937.
And I guess if you come back, don't you make a little bit more money if
Yes,
you're
you
returning?
do. If you work a certain amount of hours, there's a bonus actually involved in it. If you make it through the recruit training and through your double towering section, and you work the hours needed on the holiday weekends, then there's a bonus and incentive as well.
All right, so I'm a young lifeguard. I passed the swimming and running criteria. Then you go through some additional training before you actually go out on the beach, don't you?
That's correct. They come in. There's a period of classroom training that they do. There is a first responder class, 40-hour first responder class that they do, and then they actually do some double towering. And what I mean by double towering is they come out and they're set on the tower with another lifeguard who is with them and mentors them and shows them what they need to do, and they have to be evaluated daily on that. Daily observation reports are done, and when that tower guard feels that that person is ready to be a standalone tower guard, then they clear them to be a lone tower guard.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the medical side of this, because the lifeguards do some basic first aid.
They do. They have they deal with jellyfish stings.
Right.
They deal with some people that have minor cuts and scrapes, and they have first aid kits on their towers that they can provide some basic life support procedures.
Well, Mark, so what's the schedule, and where can people get more information?
They can go on volusia.org and go under beaches. There's actually a copy of the recruitment flyer on there. There's also a short recruitment video that they can watch, and all the information's on the website.
So you have upcoming tryouts, I believe.
Yes, we do. They start in March. They're the first 4 Saturdays of March, and towards the end of March, we actually have a one nighttime recruitment qualification class that they can go through, the tryouts that they can go through. But it's all listed on the website.
And there's been a lot of talk about the age requirement. So what is the age requirement?
The age requirements right now are 17. However, we are working on a mentor program right now where we're possibly going to be having the opportunity to bring on some 16-year-olds. It's going to be a very small group to bring on and try with a mentor program. And hopefully we'll be able to get some of the 16-year-olds that we couldn't get last year.
And I would suspect those would be the the very special 16-year-olds.
Yes, they are. There'll be a process that they'll have to go through in order to do it.
And if you're going to the beach, you guys have a great app. If you have a smartphone, that'll give you just about anything you need to know
Right. The
real
beach
time.
app is great. They can go on. It's a free app that they can download onto their smartphone, and they can get the weather, the conditions, the tide conditions, what ramps are open, which ones are closed, and a variety of information about the beach.
Well, Mark, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Our guest today is Mark Swanson. He's the director of the county's Beach Safety Ocean Rescue. With that, we'll go back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. It's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a wonderful evening.